Everyone, welcome back. Ready for another deep dive. Today, we're going to tackle something that's been generating a ton of buzz.
Oh, yeah, a lot of buzz.
Gemini 2.0.
From Google, of course.
Yeah, Google's been really pushing the AI envelope lately.
And this release, well, let me tell you, it's making some serious waves.
Literally. I mean, are we talking like tsunamis of change here?
Maybe not literally tsunamis, but close. Remember Gemini 1.0?
Yeah, that was pretty mind-blowing at the time, right? AI that could understand, like text, pictures, video, all at once.
That's exactly it. Multimodality, they called it. It was a big deal.
It felt like AI was finally, speaking our language.
Right. Fluent in human stuff. But 2.0, well, it's not just about understanding anymore. It's about doing.
Okay, hold on. You're going to have to unpack that a bit.
Sure. Think of it this way. If 1.0 was like a super smart research assistant.
Always there with the facts, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
2.0 is like having a super smart intern, not just taking notes, but actually anticipating what you need, taking initiative.
Whoa. Okay, I see where you're going with this. So how'd you even get started with this deep dive? What's the source material?
Well, Google themselves dropped this blog post, and it honestly reads like a sci-fi movie trailer. Seriously.
Oh, I know the one you mean, yeah.
Written by the whole all-star team, Sundar Pichai, Demis Hassabis.
The big brains?
Yeah, the Gemini Dream Team. And they're not just hyping it up for the sake of hype.
They're usually pretty good about that, to be fair.
Right. They're talking about AI that creates images, music, handles tasks for you.
Wait. They even mention AI on glasses, right?
Yep. Like, straight out of science fiction.
Hold on. AI on glasses. Are you talking Terminator vision here? Like full-on cyborg stuff?
Haha, not quite that dramatic. But it's definitely pushing the limits of what we thought AI could do.
Okay, yeah, I can see that. So this is what they're calling the agentic era, right?
Exactly, where AI is your agent, not just a tool.
Agentic era. That sounds pretty heavy, like a whole new way of thinking about AI.
It really is. And one of the key things they highlight is this full stack approach they've taken.
Okay, break that down for me. What's full stack in this context?
So, traditionally, AI has run on like general purpose computer chips, but Google, they went and built their own custom hardware, these things called TPUs.
So TPUs, okay. And
they're like custom built engines, specifically for AI. It makes everything from searching to like image creation insanely fast.
So instead of waiting for search results, I could be getting answers or like having AI compose a song in a snap.
That's the idea. Speed and performance, that's a huge part of this 2.0 jump.
Makes sense. But they're not just keeping this hardware all to themselves, right?
Nope. They're making it available to other companies, developers, the whole ecosystem.
Oh, that's smart. I mean, that could really accelerate things, get more people experimenting with this tech.
Exactly. That's what they're going for, this whole explosion of new AI applications.
So this blog post isn't just like technical jargon, right?
Right.
They actually show what this new AI can do.
Yeah. And that's where it gets really interesting.
Right. Lay it on me.
They've got these 3 prototypes, and they really showcase this agentic capability. Project Astra, Project Mariner, and then Jules.
3 whole prototypes. Whoa, okay. Let's start with Project Astra. What's that all about?
Think of it like this. You've got an AI assistant, right? But it's not just living on your phone.
Like Siri or something.
It's way beyond that. It actually understands your world, your context, and takes initiative on its own.
So it's not just waiting for commands, it's actively doing stuff.
Right. And they're already testing this on Android phones, and get this, they've even hinted at integrating it with glasses.
Whoa, hold on. AI assistant that can see what I see.
Yeah, and understand what you need even before you ask.
That raises all sorts of questions.
Right.
Like, how do we know it won't, go rogue and start doing things we don't want it to do?
That's a totally valid concern. And, Google addresses it head on in the posts.
They do?
Yeah. They're building in these privacy controls.
So you can, delete sessions, limit what info the AI can access.
That's right. And they're doing this thing called red teaming.
Red teaming?
Which, they have their own AI experts try to break the system, find the vulnerabilities, fix them before they become real problems.
Oh, so they're basically using AI to fight AI.
Pretty much.
That's actually pretty clever. I like it. Okay, but let's move on to this Project Mariner. What's that one all about?
This one honestly blew my mind. Mariner is designed to understand what's happening on your computer screen.
So like the text, the images, anything.
Everything. Forms, code, you name it. And then it can take action based on that understanding. Like, it did amazingly well on this real-world web task benchmark.
What kind of tasks?
Stuff like filling out forms, making purchases.
Wait, so I could have this AI do my online shopping for me?
Theoretically, yes.
That's both incredibly convenient and a little bit terrifying, to be honest.
Right, it's like wow factor for sure. They're even working on a Chrome extension so people can try it out. But they emphasize very heavily that it's still a research prototype. Safety measures are built in, of course.
Like requiring confirmation before buying stuff.
Yeah, and limiting its access to just the active browser tab.
So it's like a super smart intern who still needs supervision, but potentially one that can handle all those tedious online tasks we all hate.
Exactly.
All right, last but not least, what about this Jules prototype? What makes it special?
Jules, this one is aimed specifically at coders. Like, imagine having an AI pair programmer right there in your workflow.
Inside GitHub.
Yep, helping you plan, develop, even execute code.
So it's like having an AI coding buddy who never gets tired or needs coffee breaks.
Pretty much. And they're really pushing this idea of AI agents becoming like standard in all sorts of professional fields, not just coding.
Okay, that makes sense. So we've got AI assistants on our phones, AI navigating our browsers, AI writing code alongside us.
Yep. The agentic era in action.
Where else is Google taking this whole concept? I mean, where else are they applying this?
They're dipping their toes into the gaming world too.
Gaming. Okay, now that's something I can get behind.
Right. Think about it. Playing a video game, but you've got this AI companion that not only understands the game, but can, like, offer suggestions in real time.
Whoa, like a super smart strategy guide built right in.
Yeah. And it could even, like, pull up relevant info from Google search as you're playing.
So it's like having an AI coach who's also a walking, talking encyclopedia.
Exactly. They're collaborating with Supercell on this, which is huge in mobile gaming.
That's pretty cool. But are they sticking to just the virtual world with this agentic stuff? Or are they, like, taking it into the physical realm, too?
That's where things get really interesting.
Oh, come on. Don't leave me hanging.
They're hinting at experiments with robotics.
Robotics. Like actual robots.
Think about it. An AI that can not only understand your instructions, but actually move around in the real world. Yeah. Interact with objects.
Okay, now we're talking. Robot butlers. Here we come.
Maybe someday.
Yeah.
But before we get too carried away with the possibilities...
All right, got to bring it back down to earth a bit.
We have to talk about the potential downsides. I mean, all this sounds incredible, powerful.
But with great power comes great responsibility, right?
Exactly. And Google does address that in the blog post.
They do? Okay, good.
Yeah.
I was kind of worried they were just going to gloss over that.
No, they call their approach bold and responsible.
Which sounds kind of like walking a tightrope, to be honest.
Right, but they outline some concrete steps they're taking, like they have these internal review committees.
Beta above.
Experts from all sorts of fields, not just tech people. Ethics, law, social science.
Oh, that's good to hear. They're at least thinking about the broader implications, not just the technical stuff.
Right. Their role is to assess the potential impact of these AI agents.
Makes sense. But what about bias? I mean, AI systems, they have a history of, like, reflecting and even amplifying existing biases in the data they're trained on.
That is a huge concern. And to be honest, that's one area where they're a bit vague.
Oh.
They mention extensive safety training and evaluations.
Especially when it comes to, like, multimodal input and output.
Yeah, but they don't really go into specifics about how they're mitigating bias.
That is a little concerning. I mean, it's great that they're acknowledging it, but we need to see more than just general statements, you know?
Absolutely. Transparency, concrete examples, those are crucial, especially when we're talking about AI that could impact our lives so profoundly.
Well said. All right, let's shift gears a bit. You mentioned earlier that Gemini 2.0 is designed for, like, speed and performance.
Oh, yeah. That's a big one.
Can you give us some more details on that? What makes it so fast?
Well, they've released this thing called Gemini 2.0 Flash.
Flash, like, as in fast.
Exactly. It's the first model in the 2.0 family, and it's built for speed.
Okay, so how fast are we talking here?
They say it outperforms their previous model, Gemini 1.5 Pro, by a significant margin.
Okay, that's impressive. But what does that actually mean for someone using it?
Imagine getting search results, AI-generated images, even running code, like, instantly. Yeah. That's the goal. They're really pushing the limits of responsiveness and efficiency.
Okay, that's pretty mind-blowing. And this Flash thing, it's not just vaporware, right? Like, it's actually available.
Look, it's available right now for developers and trusted testers.
So they can start playing around with it, get a taste of the future.
Exactly. And that leads into another cool thing.
Oh, gimme.
AI overviews, remember those?
Yeah, those AI-powered summaries you get in Google search.
Right. Those are getting a major upgrade with 2.0.
Oh, interesting. In what way?
They'll be able to handle way more complex topics.
Like what?
Math problems, multi-step search queries, even coding.
Whoa, hold on. So I could ask Google a coding question and get an answer right there in the search results.
That's the idea. They want to make those overviews super comprehensive and useful.
Okay, that's actually really cool. Yeah. As someone who spends way too much time Googling things, I'm definitely excited about that.
Yeah.
But they also mentioned this thing called the Multimodal Live API.
Ah, yes. This is where things get interesting for developers.
How so?
Imagine an app that can understand not just your text inputs, but also live audio and video feeds.
Whoa, so we're talking about apps that can see and hear in real time.
Exactly.
Okay, that's pretty wild. What kind of applications could that lead to? Can you give us some examples?
Oh, the possibilities are endless. Imagine real-time translation apps that can instantly translate spoken conversations.
That would be amazing for travel.
Right. Or educational apps that can give students interactive feedback based on what they're doing or saying.
Like a personalized tutor powered by AI.
Exactly. Or even security applications that can analyze live video feeds to detect potential threats.
Okay, now we're getting into some serious sci-fi territory. But it's also, like, a bit unnerving, right? I mean, AI that can see and hear everything, that's a lot of power.
It definitely raises some ethical questions, for sure.
Like, who has access to that data? How is it being used?
Exactly. Privacy, surveillance, these are huge concerns.
And it all ties back to this idea of responsible AI development, right? We can't just blindly trust that this technology will be used for good.
Absolutely. We need to be having these conversations, asking these tough questions, holding developers accountable.
Well said. Okay, so we've talked about the amazing potential of Gemini 2.0, the potential risks, the ethical questions. But I'm curious, what about the people who are developing this technology? What kind of responsibility do they have?
That is the crucial question.
Because at the end of the day, it's humans who are making the decisions about how this technology is used.
Right. And Google does touch on this in the blog post. They talk about their commitment to a cautious, iterative approach.
Okay.
They're not just throwing this technology out into the world and seeing what happens. They're taking a more measured approach with multiple layers of oversight, testing.
Okay, that's good to hear.
Yeah.
So what does that look like in practice? What concrete steps are they taking?
One of the key things they mention is these internal review committees.
We talked about those earlier, right? Made up of experts from different fields.
Yep. Ethics, law, social science. Their job is to really dig into the potential risks and benefits of these AI projects.
And make sure they align with Google's ethical principles, right?
Exactly. They're also using this red teaming technique, which I mentioned before.
But they basically try to break the system.
Yep. Have their own AI experts try to find vulnerabilities, potential risks, so they can fix them before they become real-world problems.
That makes sense. But what about safety training and evaluations? How are they making sure these AI models are actually safe to use?
They've got these rigorous testing processes where they evaluate the models on a huge range of scenarios, data sets, and they also have extensive safety training programs.
For their engineers and researchers.
Yep, to make sure everyone's aware of the potential risks, the best practices for responsible AI development.
So it's not just about the technology itself, it's about creating a culture of responsibility within the organization.
Exactly. And they're super focused on privacy and security, too. Constantly working on new techniques to protect user data, prevent unauthorized access.
Okay, that's reassuring to hear. But with all this talk about responsible AI development, are there any areas where they're being less transparent? Like any aspects of Gemini 2.0 that are raising red flags?
One area that's getting a lot of attention is the potential for job displacement.
Right, as AI gets more capable, it's bound to automate some jobs. That's a valid concern.
And it's not a new concern, right? We've been dealing with automation's impact on jobs for centuries.
True. So what's different this time?
The scale and the speed of change. AI is evolving so rapidly, it's hard to predict exactly which jobs will be affected and how quickly.
That's a bit unsettling, to be honest.
It is. But it's important to remember that new jobs will also be created.
In areas like AI development, data science, AI ethics.
Exactly. It's not necessarily about AI taking our jobs. It's about AI changing the nature of work.
And creating new opportunities along the way.
Right. So it's crucial that we prepare for this transition.
Investing in education, training programs that equip people with the skills they need for this new world.
Exactly. It's about adapting, evolving alongside the technology.
That makes sense. But I'm also wondering, beyond the job market, how will AI impact other aspects of our lives? Our relationships, our communities, even our sense of self?
Those are some really big questions.
And ones that, frankly, kind of scare me a bit.
I get it. It's all very new, very unknown. But I think it's important to approach these questions with a sense of curiosity and a healthy dose of caution.
So it's about embracing the potential of AI while also being mindful of the potential risks and challenges.
Exactly. And it's about having these conversations, talking about these issues openly and honestly so we can shape the future of AI in a way that benefits everyone.
Well said. All right, let's circle back to Gemini 2.0 specifically. What's next for this technology? What are Google's plans?
They're definitely planning to integrate it into more of their products.
Starting with, their AI assistant and search.
Yep. Imagine asking your Google Assistant to, help you write a poem, compose a song.
Whoa, that's next level.
Right. And with search, they're bringing those AI overviews to more countries, languages, making them even more comprehensive.
Okay, so they're really pushing this AI into the mainstream.
They're also investing heavily in their full stack approach, that custom hardware, those TPUs.
So they're building both the brains and the brawn of this agentic era.
Exactly. And that's what's so exciting about this. It's not just about Google. It's about empowering developers, researchers around the world to build amazing things with AI.
I don't know about you, but I'm feeling pretty optimistic about the future of AI.
Me too. It feels like we're on the cusp of something truly transformative.
But with any revolution, there are always challenges, right? We have to be mindful of those, work together to ensure AI is used for good.
Absolutely. It's a collective responsibility shaping this future.
Well said. Okay, let's shift gears a bit and talk about something that's been on my mind. With all this talk about AI taking over the world, I'm wondering, what about the role of humans in all of this?
Ah, yes. That's the million-dollar question, isn't it?
I mean, if AI can do all these amazing things, what's left for us to do?
Well, I think it's important to remember that AI is a tool. It's an extension of our own capabilities, not a replacement for them.
So it's not about AI versus humans. It's about AI and humans working together.
Exactly. We bring different strengths to the table. AI is great at processing vast amounts of data, identifying patterns, and automating tasks. But humans excel at things like creativity, empathy, critical thinking, and making those complex judgments that require intuition and experience.
I like that. It's about finding that sweet spot, that synergy between human and artificial intelligence.
Exactly. And I think that's where the real magic happens. When we combine the best of what humans can do with the best of what AI can do, we unlock incredible potential.
I'm thinking about the creative industries. AI can help artists and musicians generate new ideas, explore different styles, and even create entire works of art. But it's ultimately the human artist who brings their unique vision, emotions, and experiences to the work.
That's a great example. And it's not just about the creative fields. This collaboration between humans and AI is happening in all sorts of industries. In healthcare, AI is helping doctors diagnose diseases more accurately and develop new treatments. In education, it's personalizing learning experiences and making knowledge more accessible.
It's amazing to think about the possibilities. But with all this potential comes a lot of responsibility, right?
Absolutely. We need to be mindful of the ethical implications of AI, the potential for bias, the risks of job displacement, and the impact on our privacy and security.
So it's not just about building cool tech. It's about building a better world with that tech.
Well said. It's about using AI to solve real-world problems, to improve people's lives, and to create a more just and equitable society.
And that's a future I can definitely get excited about. But let's be real, there are going to be bumps along the road, right? Mm-hmm. Challenges we need to overcome.
Definitely. AI is a powerful tool, and like any tool, it can be used for good or for ill. It all depends on the choices we make as a society.
So what can we do to ensure that AI is used for good? What are some practical steps we can take?
Well, I think education is crucial. The more people understand about AI, its capabilities, and its limitations, the better equipped we'll be to make informed decisions.
So knowledge is power, as they say.
Exactly. We also need to have open and honest conversations about the ethical implications of AI. What values do we want to embed in these systems? How can we prevent bias? How can we ensure privacy and security?
Those are tough questions, but they're ones we need to be asking.
Absolutely. And we need to be demanding transparency and accountability from the companies that are developing and deploying these technologies.
So it's about being informed citizens, engaging with policymakers, and using our voices to shape the future we want.
Exactly. And it's about holding ourselves accountable as well. How are we using AI in our own lives? Are we being mindful of the potential risks? Are we using it in a way that aligns with our values?
It's about being conscious and intentional in our relationship with AI.
Well said. It's a partnership after all. And like any good partnership, it requires trust, communication, and a shared vision for the future.
It really does feel like, we're at this turning point with AI. Gemini 2.0, it's pushing the boundaries in so many ways, and it's hard not to get swept up in all the excitement.
The pace of innovation is just incredible. I mean, a few years ago, we were amazed by AI that could understand text and images, right?
Yeah, it felt like a huge leap at the time.
And now we're talking about AI agents anticipating our needs, navigating the web, even writing code. It's like, whoa, what's next?
It's mind-blowing for sure. But with all the wow factor, it's important to keep our critical thinking caps on.
Oh, absolutely. We can't just blindly trust that AI will always be used for good.
Which is why, Google's emphasis on responsible development is so important. But it's not just up to Google, or any one company for that matter, right?
Right. It's a collective responsibility.
What do you mean by that? Like, what role do we, the everyday people, play in all of this?
Well, we all have a role to play in shaping the future of AI. I mean, we need to engage in these conversations, demand transparency from the developers, and think critically about how we're using these tools in our own lives.
So it's not just about passively consuming AI-powered products, but actually, actively participating, holding developers accountable.
Exactly. And it's about educating ourselves so we can make informed decisions.
Right, because knowledge is power.
Right.
We need to understand the benefits, the risks, the ethical stuff, the whole picture.
Exactly. The broader societal impact, all of it. And one thing that struck me in this blog post is Google's vision for AI as a tool for learning and discovery.
Oh, yeah. They talk about that a lot. Like how AI can help us understand complex topics, explore new ideas.
Even solve problems in ways we never thought possible, right?
Yeah, like those AI overviews we talked about.
Yeah.
Imagine you could ask Google a question about, quantum physics.
And get a clear, concise explanation tailored to your level of understanding.
Right. Not just a bunch of jargon that flies over your head.
That's what they're going for. And it's not just factual information. It's about AI that can help us think critically, analyze different perspectives.
Even generate new ideas.
Exactly. It's like having a super-powered thought partner.
Okay, I'm officially geeking out here.
Yeah.
But let's bring it back down to earth for a minute. We've talked a lot about the potential of AI, but what about the challenges? Are there areas where you think AI is still, falling short?
Well, despite all the progress, AI still struggles with things that humans do effortlessly.
Like what? Give me some examples.
Common sense, intuition, understanding social cues, those subtle things.
Navigating complex emotions, yeah.
Exactly. Those are areas where AI has a lot of catching up to do.
So while AI might be able to, write a poem or compose a song, it can't truly understand the emotions that those creations evoke in us humans.
Exactly. It can mimic human creativity, but it doesn't have the same depth of experience or understanding.
That's a good reminder that, AI is a tool. It's not a replacement for human intelligence.
Right. It can do amazing things, but we need to be aware of its limitations.
And we need to be careful not to, over-rely on it or cede our own judgment to machines.
That's the key. Finding that balance, harnessing the power of AI while preserving our own human agency, our critical thinking skills.
It's about collaboration, not domination. Right.
Exactly. We need to work with AI, not be ruled by it.
Okay, I like that. So as we wrap up this deep dive into Gemini 2.0 and this whole agentic era, what's the one key takeaway you want our listeners to leave with?
I'd say it's this. The future of AI is not predetermined. It's being shaped right now by the choices we make, the conversations we have.
So it's not just about passively observing this technological revolution. It's about actively participating in it.
Exactly. Educate yourselves. Engage in the debate. Demand responsible development. And use your voices to shape the future you want to see.
Well said.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, AI should serve humanity, not the other way around.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
Well, folks, that's a wrap on another deep dive. We've explored the depths of Gemini 2.0, the potential, the risks, the ethical questions, the whole shebang.
And hopefully you're leaving with more questions than answers, because that's what keeps this whole conversation moving forward.
That's what we're all about here. Curiosity, exploration, critical thinking. So until next time, keep those minds engaged, and thanks for joining us.